A very good morning to all of you. Today we are going to discuss about a few more topics. Like first we have variables. So first of all, what is a variable? A variable is basically something that allows you to store a value by assigning it to a name. So for example, here it's given x equals to 9. So we are assigning the value 9 to the variable x. Okay, so 9 has been assigned to x, and if I want to print twice of this variable using the print command, I can write print 2 into x. So answer 18 will be returned. Let's check up the next example. X equals to 1 2 3. So if I print x, answer is 1 2 3. If I assign x equals to string, that means now instead of pointing to 1 2 3 as a value, x is now pointing to string. And then if I want to print string with the exclamation sign, I can do that by concatenation operator. You can see with the print function it is x plus exclamation sign is there. Okay. Now for variable names, only characters that are allowed are letters, numbers and underscores. Okay, so numbers cannot start with the variables. For example, we have second number equals to 22. You can check in this example. Here 2 is written first for a variable name, which is syntax error. This is going to raise error. Why? Because a variable should always start with either a letter or an underscore. A variable can have a number, can have any number in between, but variable name should not start with any digit. Okay, and of course Python is a case sensitive programming language. That means if I write number n in capital and if I write number n in small, both will be treated as different variable names. Alright, so this language is case sensitive. Next we have this example of variable given here as fw, foo equals to string. So this, when I try to access, answer will be printed as it is in single quotes, right? If I try to print another variable bar, for example over here, it is showing us the name error. Reason being because this bar as a name is not defined. We have not assigned any value to this variable. Okay, and if I try to delete foo variable, that means if I use the del command, del for deletion, so this will be deleted. And next if I try to access this variable again, this will show the name error. Why? Because this variable has been already removed. Okay, next we come to the in place operators. In place operators allow you to write the code like x equals to x plus 3. That means if I want to modify a variable in itself, for example x is having a value as 5, I want to add 3 to it, so x is going to point to a new value that is 8. That means I am making changes in the same variable. That's why we call this operator as in place operator. For example, x is given as 25. If I do x plus equals to 30, it is equivalent writing x equals to x plus 30. In short, this is the shorthand notation. If we are writing x plus equals to 30, alright, then answer will be the same, that is 25 plus 30, that is 55. Next example is with strings. X is having the value learn. If I try to print the value of x, learn will be printed. If I say x plus equals to Python, that means x equals to x plus Python. So what was x earlier? X was having the value as learn. So it will be learn Python. It will be concatenated, because if I apply a plus operator with strings, both the strings will be concatenated. Alright. Next, comments, as we all know, single line comments, multi-line comments. Okay, then print function is there. This is also we are aware about how to go for the printing. And then we have input function. Now coming to the very important function in Python, that is the len function. This len function is used to compute the length of particular variable, right? A variable can hold a string also. For example, len of hello. This hello word is having how many characters? 5 characters. So the len function is going to return the answer as 5 over here. Okay, so len function basically compute the length of a particular variable which is holding, maybe containing a string or any kind of value. Next is we have other functions like str function, int function and float functions. The first function is str. Str function actually computes, it returns the answer in the form of strings. Okay, so let's take up the first example here. We have str function and we have passed the value as 21. So here 21 is the integer. I want to convert this value into string. So I'm going to write str21. So the answer is returned in the form of a string, that is 21 is enclosed in the single quotes. Alright. Next, if I talk about the next example, like print I am plus string 21 plus years old. That means I'm concatenating these strings together. So the answer will be I am 21 years old. Okay, this 21 is actually in the string form. Right. Next example is string of 0, that is 0 in single quotes. Next, string of minus 3.14. Right. Next, we have example for integer. Now, if I want to convert a particular string into integer, for example, over here we have in the function int, 42 is a string. Right. So, in integer form, it will become a number 42. Likewise, we can check for the other examples. Alright, like integer of 1.25 is going to be 1. Why? Because 1.25 is a floating point number. Okay, so the fractional part will be truncated, will be removed, only 1 will be returned as the answer. Same for the next case also. Next we come on for the float function. If we are passing this string 3.14 in the float function, it is going to return the answer in a proper floating point number, that is 3.14. Floating point number for 10, using the float function for 10 it will be 10.0. Okay. Next we are checking for the text and the number equivalence. Now here is the first example. If I compare 42 with a 42 string, so here 42 is a number whereas 42 is a string, so it is going to return the answer false. But next example, if I check, if I compare integer 42 with float 42, that is 42 double equal to 42.0, the answer is coming as true, because actually both are numbers, right? And in the last example, 42.0 is compared with 42.000. Actually they are same float numbers, that's why the answer is coming as true. So Python makes this distinction because strings are text while the integers and floats are both numbers. Okay, so that's all for the today's class. Thank you to all.